Hi, my lovely Gemini. This is your horoscope for November 2019. I love Gemini. My favorite Gemini ever was Joan Rivers. You guys are the witty ones, the clever ones, the funny ones. Let's see what's coming up for you this month. On the 31st of October, Mercury, the communication planet and your ruler, Gemini, goes retrograde until the 20th of November. And it happens in your sixth house of work, daily routine, and your physical health. So you may feel disconnected from your body. You may hit snags in your daily routine, like a broken tire or things like that. In your work, there may be some misunderstandings, some hiccups. So make sure that when it comes to work and all communications, that you're very, very clear so that you avoid mishaps. Usually during Mercury retrogrades, you get the wrong ticket or the plane is delayed or the computer doesn't work. So put up with that, but also make sure that the content, that the information that's being passed along is correct. On the 2nd of November, Venus moves into Sagittarius in your 7th house, and then it moves into Capricorn on the 26th of November. So for the majority of November, Venus, the love planet, is in your 7th house with Jupiter, the lucky planet, at 23 degrees, which is 2 and 3 is 5, that's freedom. For the majority of November, Venus sits in your 7th house in a very optimistic sign, Sagittarius, and your focus is going to be relationships and romantic relationships. And despite the Mercury retrograde, you'll do very well. Because the way this Mercury retrograde is going to affect you is that you become much more emotional, you become softer, and you let your guard down a little bit. So it's easier for people to get to know you. So be careful with that. If you've got secrets that you're taking to the grave, which isn't healthy, by the way. Secrets keep us sick. But if you've got a secret that you're taking to the grave with you, then be careful this month in November, because you're going to be much more willing and less reluctant to share the truth. So that continues until the 11th of November, when Mercury transits in front of the Sun. And that last happened in 2016. It's going to happen again in 2039. And your ruler, Mercury, will be able to see this tiny speck going across the sun. And it's in your 6th house. Your midheaven is there as well. And it's going to feel like me, this tiny little person, against this huge institution I work for. I feel totally powerless, out of control, like anything I do has no effect. They're running the show, I'm powerless. And that's how it could make you feel. So that's not a pleasant feeling, but it's going to wake you up to the fact that, hey, actually, I do want some control in my life. Maybe I want to change the way I eat. Maybe I want my daily routine to be different. Maybe I want to change my job. You really feel it, and when you feel it, it becomes a truth. You see it, and you can do something about it. If there is no problem, you can't solve it. You've got to recognize that there is an issue first before you can actually help. On the 12th of November, there is a full moon in Taurus. I'm going to make separate videos on the full moon and the new moon. But what you need to know, Gemini, is that it happens in your 12th house of spirituality. The full moon is in Taurus, and Uranus is at 3 degrees. 3 in numerology is your vibration, communication, and thinking, also in Taurus. So around the 11th, 12th, 13th, you're going to find it very easy to make contact with a higher power of your own understanding, a spiritual connection. So if you're someone who's meditated and meditated and meditated and it's just not happened for you, you don't feel a connection with anything, then try again and try different techniques around the 11th, 12th, 13th. You're very likely to have a spiritual awakening. okay? Really likely. So you wouldn't be worried about your hair, for instance, if you were enlightened like that. So look at that around the middle of the month. Then on the 19th of November, we have Mars going into Scorpio, and that is in your 6th. So now on the 19th, Mars says, okay, let's actually do something about this situation, and let's do the legwork to make changes in work, daily routine, physical health. On the 22nd, the Sun moves into Sagittarius, and the Sun is then in your 7th house with Jupiter, Venus, and you're transiting midheaven. So it's all about wonderful relationships, romantic relationships, relationships with new colleagues or new groups that you're attending. It's going to be really positive here at the end of the month in terms of your relationships. On the 24th, we get really lucky and we have Jupiter and Venus conjunct. Love and good luck come together. And that doesn't happen very often. And it happens in your 7th house of relationships. So at the end of the month, 24th of November, any single Geminis out there, go on dates. Put yourself out there. So in the middle of the month, you have the opportunity to make a loving connection with a higher power. At the end of the month, you're all over. You're charming, you're exciting. People will want to be with you. You experience good luck in making connections with other people on a physical level. So this is a great month for you in terms of communication. Finally, on the 26th of November, we have the new moon in Sagittarius also happening in your 7th house of relationships with the transiting midheaven sitting there and Jupiter. So this pulls in lots of Sagittarius energy, which has a bow and arrow and points at a goal in the distance. So you're going to look at what you want to achieve in your relationships and where is this going. So you're going to be like, okay, is this relationship actually something serious and would I marry this man? Or am I just having fun and am I happy to date several people? Whatever works for you, you're going to become very aware of that at the end of the month. And do you. If you want to date several guys or girls, go for it. If you realize that, wow, I want to make a commitment to, that's your gig then. So however it manifests for you, trust the feelings, it's right. And it's lucky, so it's not going to end in tears. It's going to end with big smiles and happiness. So that's what I get for you in November, Gemini. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. In my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. To draw up your birth chart, which is a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and the time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where I work out your time of birth, and then I can draw up your chart. I also use tarot and numerology. I can answer any questions you may have. So please do get in touch. Hit the subscribe button if you like this video, and if you really like it, then please share it online. I hope you have a wonderful November, and I'll speak to you soon.